Colts Minicamp has begun, and we're going to talk about it here on Colts Talk, presented by Prize Picks. Billy Beebe, glad to be back with you. Just beginning with Minicamp, and yet the news came pouring in, and you know what that means. We've got the latest for you here on Colts Talk. Let's jump right into something, probably the most interesting part of the day, in my opinion. Look, the battle for quarterback 2 in general, from what we've seen, from what we've heard, from assumptions, from fan vote, from my vote, for producer AP's vote, it looked like Anthony Richardson was in the lead as backup quarterback, right? He was taking reps with the one. Looks like he's in good shape. The slow-mo videos of him throwing the ball, it all looks like he has been in the lead for the backup quarterback job. He's talked about, right, I want to be able to help them on the field. Well, you assume that's quarterback 2. Shane Steichen says otherwise. When asked about it yesterday, the Colts head coach says, as far as Riley Leonard and Anthony Richardson, both guys are having a good offseason. They're both doing some really good things, and it's back and forth right now, so we'll see where that goes. I will also note, Steichen was asked 50-50, is that correct right now? And he said, yeah, about 50-50. So, no, it's not one man over the other. It is a dead even race as the backup quarterback right now at this point in time for the Indianapolis Colts. That's the race. What's your opinion on this one? Choose a quarterback 2. Who's your backup quarterback at this point in time? Type A for Anthony Richardson, R for Riley Leonard. Come on now, get in the comment section. Why aren't you commenting here on Colts Talk? Get down there and let us know what you think. So, as I said, from what Steichen said, what we're seeing at OTAs, now minicamp, and then more into the offseason, what we're seeing is a dead even 50-50 splitting of reps, whether it is 7-on-7, whether it is passing drills, whether it's running with the 1s, whether it's running with the 2s, right? Richardson's getting equal 2 reps to 1 reps. Leonard's getting the same, right? He's not just getting a little bit of 1s even with Richardson, and then Richardson doesn't go with the 2s. No, they're swapping in and out, splitting even reps. The Richardson situation is interesting. He has not rescinded his trade request. For those of you that are happy he's at this stuff, I am also, but it's pretty clear like he's doing it not to look bad and stay in shape and be ready to go. Hey, maybe that's for the Colts. Mainly, it seems like that's for a possible trade scenario. We're going through his stats before the show today, and just 2025 is just something special to put together because it is nothing there for him in 2025. His defense, he had the orbital fracture, so he missed most of the season with that. And then, you've got some numbers there as a starter and the raw numbers going back to Florida, all interesting there. I hold on to the fact that Riley Leonard feels like a fan favorite, right? Most fans seem to really feel that Riley Leonard is the backup quarterback. I know a couple of you have kind of pushed back on me with that. I respect it. Again, that's why I asked you guys to put your vote down in the comment section below who you're rocking with. I think Leonard was okay. I just think he was a 6th-round rookie thrust in the position of playing games, right? That is what it is, and it showed what it showed. He also ended up having a light injury. Phillip Rivers in for him. It was an awkward rookie year for Riley Leonard, certainly. Again, I thought Anthony Richardson was in the lead here. We got a lot of videos of him. We got a lot of thoughts on him. We heard from AR. We heard from Steichen. We heard from everybody around the league about trade rumors. Seemed like he was an automatic quarterback too, right? Does Shane Steichen not like Anthony Richardson? Because every time I hear Steichen talk about him, and again, Steichen's a monotone guy in general, kind of keeps it very chill, if you want to put it that way. But Richardson especially, it seems like he's not overly fond of at this point in time. Now with Riley Leonard, I think there's potential there. I think obviously Steichen and Ballard probably came together and signed off on that one together as a 6th-round pick. But I will note, when it comes down to the decision between these 2 quarterbacks, picking your backup, who you're going to call if Daniel Jones goes down, these guys need to win. There is no developing Riley Leonard. There is no I want to see Riley Leonard. If Daniel Jones were to go down, if something were to happen, Ballard and Steichen need to keep their jobs. They're going to go with who helps them win games, which is why we are going to keep an eye on the quarterback 2 competition here on Colts Talk. Reminder, today's show is presented by Prize Picks, America's #1 sports picks app, aka the reason we can do the show for free. We appreciate our sponsors here on Colts Talk. And right now, the NBA Finals continuing, which is why I want to give you guys the opportunity to understand how easy it is to put these lineups together. All you have to do is just pick more or less on a few player stats, then lock in your lineup with the names that you want to match those stats. So basketball, points, rebounds, assists, blocks, 3-pointers, still not getting it. Let me give you an example. For game 4, producer AP drew this one up for us. Dylan Harper, we're going more on 4.5 field goals made. That's another stat you can do on Prize Picks. Jalen Brunson, how about more on points and assists combined on that one? We love the more to start things off. Karl Anthony Towns, more on 3-pointers made. 1.5 on 3-pointers made there on the lineup. Victor Wembanyama combining points, rebounds, assists at 32.5 for one of the best players in this series. You'll take more on those 3 stats combined, right? Come on, that's pretty cool that you can combine those on Prize Picks. Plus, right now with Flex Play on Prize Picks, how you play is up to you. So if you want flexibility, you choose Flex Play where you can get paid even if your picks miss. And if you want the biggest payouts, go for the Power Play. No matter how you play, Prize Picks is a great way to put your takes to the test. So go on the app and check that out now. Prize Picks also has early payouts. So if your player gets off to a hot start, you now have the option to cash out those winnings before the game even finishes. And with the new user offer we have for you guys, that you download the Prize Picks app today with the link in the comment section and description. Then you use code HMA to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That is code HMA to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, it's good to be right. Big story from day one of Colts Minicamp was injury news, right? Big names, little names, retirements. Yeah, that's right. We want to take you guys through everything kind of going on right there. First off, just kind of a random one, but an interesting one in general from James Boyd of The Athletic. Ruben Lowry III was placed on the reserve/retired list. Per the team, the 23-year-old presumably calls it a career. Seen this before. Actually, the Colts had signed a guy who went through this situation in Nasir Adderley. You get a few injuries, you have some, loves outside football. It just doesn't seem worth it. That's kind of what happened here. So Ruben Lowry out of the safety mix for the Colts at this point in time. Safety did feel like a position, by the way, where it feel like they were going to make a cut or two. This may help out Chris Ballard and company to make some decisions down the line. I will note, I had Lowry as the 3rd also down below. So at this point in time, I can't pose like this is something that's really, really going to hurt the Colts. Then other mini camp injuries to begin. All these guys did not participate. I do want to note, these are, I don't want to call them the lesser names. Yes, Alec Pierce is still out. DeForest Buckner is still out, right? The names we already knew were like major injuries. They are still out. They'll be out till training camp. Then rookie Jalen Farmer, some more injuries on the O-line a little bit. And then the secondary really hurting right now for the Colts. Charvarius Ward with a tight back. They expected him back after missing 1 day. It looks like he may miss 2. Cam Taylor-Britt is dealing with an injury there. Farmer, I believe it's his knee that he's dealing with, and some other guys banged up right now. I will note OTAs, minicamp, teams try to really be careful here. There's no reason to have these guys specifically running around and whatnot if they feel tight, sore, or otherwise. So you can take a look at the full list of guys sitting out for day 1. We'll see how things go. I would guess this whole group probably sits out minicamp. It's a couple days, got to take it into the future. So I would guess these guys, unfortunately, we're not going to get a look at some guys I know some of you comment like Cam Taylor-Britt in the nickel situation. Can we see him at nickel? Maybe we could have, but he is out as of right now. More news like this here on Colts Talk pretty consistently. Oh, wait, every single day. That's right. For free on Colts Talk. All you have to do is subscribe. It's never been easier. I know you guys hear the word subscribe. You think about a payment. Not on Colts Talk. Free right now when you hit that sub button. Then the greatest injury update that we have pretty consistently is Daniel Jones's recovery from the broken fibula and Achilles tear. Good news last week when we kind of talked about him participating in 7-on-7, 11-on-11. Not quite the case. Jones did ask the Colts, so that says he felt good enough, in his opinion. He wanted to participate in 11-on-11, which means you add the defensive line, you add the offensive line to the mix there again. Still not a bunch of heavy-hitting football stuff. Colts decided against it. They decided to keep Daniel Jones out of this. So there is a greater risk. There is a little bit of pressure. Could get knocked around. Accidents can happen. So Jones not going to participate in 11-on-11s. This is really our first, piece of negative Daniel Jones injury news, isn't it? Right? Every time it's been ahead of schedule doing this, ahead of schedule doing that, feeling good doing this. This is the first time the Colts slowed things down and said, all right, I'm not going to do 11 on 11s here. There's no reason to. Let's get through minicamp and move on. It is a reminder, like, how far we have to go to get Daniel Jones ready to play NFL football at this point in time. So, he says he'll be ready for week 1. That's the plan. I do trust him on that, but I think it's kind of a reality check for us with Daniel Jones in general. He still says, I'm in a good spot, so we'll keep an eye on QB1 and, again, his recovery from the Achilles tear and broken fibula. Let's do good news now, right? That was a little bit of no fun talking about the injuries. Bryce Boettcher, the rookie from Oregon. I call him just an athlete, but it looks like he'll play either one of the linebacker positions for Indianapolis. We'll see where he ends up landing there. Noted that he had a pick 6 on Riley Leonard in the 7-on-7s, which, look, limited pressure in 7-on-7s. So interceptions are good. It means, Leonard made a mistake. Boettcher took advantage of it, vice versa. Like, Boettcher, really made something happen out of nothing. And again, this is a very athletic player that the Colts have brought in at the linebacker position. They wanted to revamp that room. We talked about younger. We talked about faster is what Chris Ballard wanted. Well, a kid that was drafted into the MLB a few years ago probably could be in the MLB. Instead, he plays football, drafted in the 4th round out of Oregon. This is a guy, whether it is minicamp, training camp, preseason, into the season, watch him. Keep an eye on Bryce Boettcher in general. I am very excited about the Colts' 4th round draft pick at the linebacker position out of Oregon. He is athletic, he is versatile, and those two traits show up on the field. They just do. It's not one of those things where you wonder where he is. You're seeing him really put in extra effort. He's athletic and he's versatile. That means he'll pop no matter when you are watching Bryce Boettcher. Might be special teams as well, right? I think those two things can show up there in general. Kind of leads you to wonder now, is there a world where Bryce Boettcher pushes for a starting spot? Because we talked plenty about C.J. Allen. That's kind of been a discussion for us here on Colts Talk, obviously, how he's going to look as a rookie starter. Can Boettcher start? That would be the will linebacker position, which right now is projected to be veteran offseason edition Akeem Davis-Gaither, who the Colts picked up pretty early in free agency. And he's an experienced NFL player. I would be more than comfortable with Akeem Davis-Gaither starting for the Colts at that will linebacker position. He has good NFL experience, been solid over the past 2 years. I'd like him out there with C.J. Allen, by the way. C.J. Allen's going to have a lot of responsibility. Be nice to have a veteran next to him. Man, but Boettcher. This is tempting to see something really cool, to see this guy progress, to see him get after it a little bit on the field during these OTAs. We'll get into training camp. We'll get into all that. I am interested to see it possibly. Yes, he's slated as a Mike linebacker. I just think he's athletic enough to pick it up at will. I think he absolutely could do that. I think he could play special teams as well. And as much as I love the fun and the stability of a veteran next to C.J. Allen, the fun of two rookies that athletic would be pretty interesting to watch in general for the Colts. But if you guys had to pick a will linebacker for Indy to start the season, who are you going with? For Akeem Davis-Gaither, type your 1s. For Bryce Boettcher, the rookie, type your 2s. Let us know down below. And I'll emphasize once again, athletic, versatile. Bryce Boettcher, athletic, put it all together, right? This is a guy, I have to fill out the depth chart one way or another, so I put him as a backup Mike, and that's kind of how he's seen a little bit. He can do it. He can play will linebacker. And again, I will note, C.J. Allen starting at linebacker, right? Looks like A.J. Halsey has grabbed a starting safety spot as a rookie. Why not Boettcher next?